From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a beautiful Friday morning here on Early Mornings LALATE with incredible great details about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. In this recording, we go over how much the Democratic House, Senate, and President want to give you of that fourth stimulus check. They're all talking about it, and I'm talking about it as well. A monthly stimulus check that starts in the month of July. We'll go over all the incredible money in this recording. Then we turn to fifth stimulus that got a shocking economic data number yesterday that suggests your fifth stimulus and your benefits could be raised up to a massive new number in December. I have all the incredible great news about that as well. And then in the middle of this video, we go over the big money you can get across the board, thousands of dollars. Finally, we go over a new protagonist in the fourth stimulus package situation. We'll analyze what that protagonist is doing and why that protagonist is doing it as well. It's not a face or a name you've seen before, and we'll understand what's at issue and what you need to know as we go into a Friday. It's a big day. The toast is toasted, the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here. Let's get to it, starting right now. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning, and I'm excited you have joined me on a big early mornings broadcast. How are you? Tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. I'm so excited you joined me, and I'm excited for the weekend. We're almost there. Next weekend, California opens up completely, so it's a big, exciting final days of the endurance test of this COVID. We are finally coming out of it. How are you? So it is clearly sunnier and warmer here in LA, but next week it's supposed to be a lot warmer. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today, we're going to go over this monthly stimulus check that the president's talking about, that the House is talking about, and that the Senate's talking about, and print media as well. We'll be going over how much the Democrats want to give you and all the details. Then we'll be turning to fifth stimulus and a new economic number released yesterday that is just mind-blowingly wonderful news. Why? We'll see how that analyzes in this video. Then we'll be turning to the thousands and thousands of dollars you can get right now, and I want you to get it because we aren't tracking checks, we're cashing checks on this channel. And finally, for the first time in, almost 6 months, 9 months, we have a protagonist. We have a protagonist, and it's not Nancy, it's not Chuck, it's not Mitch, it's not Joe, and it's not the other Joe either. So who is it? We'll be going over the new protagonista on this channel. Get ready. We always love, a villain. Not to call the person a villain, but and with that, make sure you subscribe. 400,000 subscribers and one villain. For a reason. 400,000 subscribers in 1 year, a new YouTube record. I want you part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. Also like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member, not a villain. More about that coming up in a second. Let's get right into that fourth stimulus check that the House, the Senate, the President wants you to have. And a fifth stimulus check? Yes, that's coming up as well in this video. Boy, we got a lot of stuff in this video. Okay, it's starting with the House bill that provides a monthly stimulus check from the Democrats to you for pandemic plus 1 year. The Senate proposal is a stimulus check monthly from now to December. The House bill from the Democrats provides $2,000 first month, $1,000 thereafter. Senate monthly amount, word on the street is it's this. Wow. Yes, word on the street is the Senate Democrats want to give you $2,000 a month over 6 months, $12,000. Or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. Yes, I love that. If you're on the live chat just after 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, get ready to vote House or Senate, which one you like. But not just yet. Let's go back to that House bill from the Democrats. There's an issue. The pandemic plus 1 year. Some may think that the pandemic will be over by the time it is called for a vote. Let's say it is. That would result in 12 months of checks, which is $13,000 of the House bill over 12 months. Compare that to this in the Senate. Oh boy. Yeah, that's 6 months. So I think you have an opinion now. Which one do you like? House or Senate? House or Senate? Vote in the live chat or jump into the comments if you're watching the show later after the chat's over. House or Senate, and also where you're watching from and how's the weather. All right, let's go over everything else you need to know about that fourth stimulus check. Who gets it? Oh, I really just went out of focus there. Who gets it? The Democrats want you to get it if you got the third stimulus check. So if you're a single individual, 75,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Just double it. Family of four or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. The Democrats want you to have it. And then finally, if you're on benefits, yes, the Democrats want you to have that fourth stimulus check if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, or survivor benefits. Next, is the stimulus check income? It is not. It is not taxable. Do the Democrats propose a different amount of stimulus check for different people? No. So adult dependents, minor dependents, everyone gets the same stimulus check. And when did the Democrats propose to have you get this stimulus check? In the month of July, for the month of July, in the month of August, for the month of August, because they represent that the vote would be by July 4th. And there you go. That is what the Democrats in the House and the Democrats in the Senate and the President want you to have. More about this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 coming up in just a second with the shocking breaking news that happened last night and the newest protagonista to this channel. Haven't had one in a while. So I need to tell you what that protagonista is up to. That's coming up in just a second. But let's get a preview of the second half of this video, which is fifth stimulus. Boy, fifth stimulus got smacked with shocking economic data yesterday. Fifth stimulus is what raises your benefits up on SSI, SSDI reform, also veterans reform, that raises your benefits up a lot, and then applies a benchmark, which is inflation. But now we're learning that inflation may be a lot higher than that 2 to 6% that we've been talking about for a while. Why? You're going to find out in just a second. But first, let's get some money. You have been killing it. Continue to kill it. If you got money for rent, utilities, mortgage, SNAP, jump into the live chat, say what you got, because you inspire us. You inspire me. You inspire other viewers to get that money. Let's go over that great money. $350 billion for you. Well, not all for you. You got to share. What do you think this is? Publishers Clearinghouse? What do you think this is? Powerball? No, that's tonight. Or Mega Millions. I think Mega Millions is tonight. Tomorrow's Powerball. So no, we're not. You need to share. It's landing your city, county, and states this week and next week. And it's for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. How do you get it? Let's go over all the details. Get a pen and paper ready or Crayola crown. I'm not wearing Crayola blue today, but maybe you got a Crayola pink. All right, you're going to reach out to different locations that have different pots of money and different eligibility. Good, because if one says no, you go to the next one. You ready? Here we go. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. Keywords you're going to say is rent assistance because of COVID or mortgage assistance because of COVID. You're not going to say words like Kristen Sinema. They won't know who she is because I don't know who she is. No, they don't know what you're talking about. So don't say words that they don't know what they're talking about. Or don't say protagonista. Oh, I'm getting a preview of the video, aren't I? Yeah. So don't say words that they don't know, and don't say stimulus either. There you go. How much money can you get? About $5,000 for rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. About 4 to 6 months of rent, $5,000 approximately. Wonderful. Congratulations to Tim and Linda who got that money. Let's turn to the next pot of money. And boy, we were inspired by one viewer on Mornings at LALATE on Monday. She said she's getting about $560 a month. That's about $6,000 to $7,000 a year. Yes, very excited for her. So how do you get this money? You're going to reach out to Department of Agriculture for this, which is SNAP. What is SNAP? It is money for food. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. How much? A lot. Family of four in Hawaii can get upwards of $16,000 a year now because of SNAP. Why so much money? Because of two executive orders, one from Trump and one from Biden that raised everyone's benefits up 15% between now and December. Go get it. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, for her mom and her son. Congratulations, Lynn. Gail got it as well. Congratulations. Which brings me to the next pot of money. It is $5,000. Oh, at least. It's exciting. States had overpaid you unemployment assistance because of computer errors. And then the federal government noticed that the states asked you to return the money, which you did. Well, the federal government said, no, that was your money to keep, and has now ordered the states to return the money back to you. Yes, so that is your money. The states are now sending that money back to you. When? Reach out to your respective state for routing time. How? To the bank account you have on file with that state. One viewer got $5,000 from this, which brings me to the next pot of money, which is so exciting, which is the money you paid on taxes for 2020 to IRS. It's coming back as well. Cod is one of the nice viewers of this channel over a week ago, jumped into Overnight's Crypto, which is currently airing live at the same time of this video, and said, you know what? I got it, and went to a direct deposit, so tell viewers it's coming. Thank you, Cod. That's the spirit of this channel. Viewers helping viewers. Let's go over what this is. It is the money you paid on taxes for that unemployment assistance in 2020. Here's an example. Let's say you had $9,000 of unemployment assistance. You paid a total tax bill of $5,000, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment assistance. Congratulations. You are getting back $4,000. Next, how? To the bank account you have on file if you did direct deposit for that 2020 return, or to the mailbox. When? June. Can you track it? You can. Go to irs.gov. Do a transcript search. It works about 70% of the time and reveal when you file that tax return, when you paid that taxes, and when that check is coming back to you. There we go. But boy, I got bigger news, more exciting news, and it starts right now. It is forced stimulus. Let me tell you where forced stimulus is right now. I'm talking about forced stimulus checks. The president's talking about it. The Democrats in the House and the Senate and the print media are all talking about your forced stimulus check. The only people who aren't talking about it are the people who are not giving it to you, which is the GOP. So here's what you need to know. The process is currently in the reconciliation mode. They're marking up the bill. Yes, we learned that in the last 24 hours. The House subcommittees are currently marking up the bill. They're writing the bill. They represent the vote will be finished by July 4th. And even exciting is that the president likes the stimulus check when asked about it. The senators and House members say they're going to put it in. That is all wonderful news. Let me explain to you what the major deal was the president signed into law this week overseas, and introduce to you to our newest protagonista of forced stimulus. All right, so how did we get to this point? Let's lead it up to the present. We started with the Friday before Memorial Day weekend when Lena Schumer announced three things. One, we're currently under reconciliation. Two, that the reconciliation will be done by July 4th with approval. And number three, we won't be held up for bipartisan negotiations. The second two are very important because of the protagonista. That's coming up in a second. Second, we learned that under fourth stimulus, there was some wonderful, wonderful details. And those wonderful details we learned from Jalopal. Jalopal wrote Schumer a letter. And Jalopal's letter to Schumer said, call the vote. Now, it's not so much the letter, because we are calling it the vote now. It's who signed the letter. 12 House Democrats signed the letter to Schumer saying, call the vote. But those 12 House Democrats are among the 12 House Democrats who are among the 100-plus House Democrats who wrote the president a letter a week earlier saying, we are putting monthly stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package. Wow, now that is really good. Can we top that? We can. When about a week ago, 7 House Democrats wrote the president a letter and said, hey, we're going to put multiple stimulus checks into the forced stimulus package and write it in there. Who are these people to say that? What do you mean you are going to write it? Well, they are on the House subcommittee that's solely and exclusively responsible for writing stimulus checks. Oh my goodness, what do they do? Well, they wrote your first stimulus check. Yes, they did. They wrote your second stimulus check. They wrote your third stimulus check, and now they're saying they're writing your fourth stimulus check. Oh my goodness. And for the first time on Early Mornings LA, you're hearing as well that they are writing a fifth stimulus check. Yes, in the letter they also say they are putting in a fifth stimulus check. Now, earlier in this recording, I said to you that they're currently marking up the language. Really exciting, meaning they're currently marking up the bill. What's more exciting than the subcommittee that is solely and exclusively responsible for writing forced stimulus checks telling you they're putting multiple stimulus checks in there? The president signing a deal internationally that impacts your forced stimulus. Which brings us back to that event of a recent Tuesday that I said was confusing and that I have to slow down. Is what I'm going to do again right now. The forced stimulus is paid for by raising the U.S. corporate tax rate. But the president was worried in raising the U.S. corporate tax rate, as he told publicly, that businesses may move overseas. So what did he propose? He reached out to global leaders around the globe. called G7 leaders and said, would you agree to a higher global minimum corporate tax rate so that a business, for example, would not move from New York to France? And they tentatively agreed. Good news. Well, he had told the president had told insiders later that same Tuesday that after forced stimulus becomes law, he's going to reach out to those G7 countries in like August and have them sign on the dotted line. And if they do, then he's going to drop the U.S. corporate tax rate even lower. Now that's wonderful. A corporate tax rate close to where we are, yes, and global corporate tax rate deal. Oh yeah, that is good news. But it didn't happen in August. It happened this week. Yesterday. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? It started last Friday. When I told you the President of the United States was having a meeting with G7 country leaders on Saturday morning, but I said, I don't know why. It was buried in a news article. No one was covering it. No one even knew what it was about. It literally was buried. And then suddenly Saturday morning, I said, stay with me because on Mornings LALATE, live on air, I expect I'm going to have an announcement. And I did. The president last Saturday morning, announced that the G7 countries had agreed to a global minimum corporate tax rate now, not after forced stimulus, now that anchors forced stimulus to the finish line. Really? And that he was going to go overseas for his first international trip to have them sign it into law yesterday and today. Oh my goodness. Now that is wonderful news. And suddenly the president, with a brilliant idea, came up with the concept of having the G7 countries sign the global minimum corporate tax rate before forced stimulus goes to a vote in July, not after, so that it drags forced stimulus over the finish line. That is wonderful. Now, going into about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time yesterday, this is where we were. The House Democrats wanted to give you a stimulus check. The Senate Democrats want to give you a stimulus check. The president likes giving you a stimulus check. And Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema were all on board to vote in favor of the fourth stimulus package. But then what happened? When the president suddenly deboarded his plane and walked around the shores of a European town, suddenly a protagonista appeared on LALATE. And who is that protagonista? The newest protagonista of this channel in many, many months. Her name, Kristen Sinema. Now, here is what I want you to understand is the takeaway before I tell you the story. Sadly, there is no takeaway from what she's doing other than really political grandstanding. Because insiders to the meetings, who are both Republicans and Democrats, say there is no deal coming from Kristen Sinema, that the Republicans are not going to agree to what she's doing, and the Democrats are certainly not going to agree to it. So what she's doing is trying to get a lot of attention, which she is. She's currently on the front page of 2 major political and business channels because of what she's doing. And while it's messy, and it sounds like a protagonista, which it is, it's not going to impact your forced stimulus at all. So do not worry. But I want you to know what it is so you're informed about it. So what is she doing? She's having, I can't even say it with a straight face. She's having a meeting with Republicans who are retiring. What? Yeah. She's having a meeting with Republicans who are retiring. And Mitt Romney, who, everyone likes Mitt Romney. How can you not like him? He's a nice guy. But she's having meetings with Roy Blount and Ron Portman, who are retiring, that Democrats just don't like. I mean, have you ever heard a Democrat who likes something from Ron Portman? He was the guy who did not want to give you unemployment assistance in 2020. I mean, this is a person that's not liked. Roy Blount from Missouri, who's quitting. I don't know any Democrat likes Roy Blount's policies. So she's having meetings with people that Democrats don't like their policies. So why would she think that any Democrat would agree to anything from Roy Blount or Ron Portman? I mean, come on already. It's ridiculous. Now, who else is doing this? The problem creators. They're back. They're back on tour. I mean, it's the revival tour, the greatest hits album. They're back. They did nothing in 2020 except cause problems. And now they're back again. So what are they doing? This is all grandstanding. And if you don't know what political grandstanding is, let me explain. In fall of 2020, people were up for re-election. So they used the notion of I'm trying to negotiate deals as a way to get themselves reelected because it looks really good. Next, they used it as a way to get funds to run for president. That's what Josh Hawley did. He got fortunes fortunes because of what he was doing in fall of 2020. He got a lot of publicity for his negotiations, which went nowhere because he wanted money to run for president. Whether he is or isn't, he got a fortune out of it. Some people do it for book deals. Other people just do it to, advance their political career. But what Kristen Sinema is doing right now does nothing for the Democrats. Doesn't help, doesn't hurt. And it does nothing for the Republicans because they're not agreeing to it either. But I just gotta say, it looks so insanely messy that as soon as the president gets right off of U.S. soils for the first time as president, suddenly she sort of, boy, I was going to use a verb. I'm not going to use that verb. Maneuvers her way in. That was, yeah, you saw what verb I was going to use. She maneuvers her way in to a meeting with Republicans who are out the door, who are not moderate Republicans or anything, and tries to act like she's orchestrating a deal, which she's not. So here's what you need to know, is that Chuck Schumer is adamant, and even Joe Manchin was adamant up until her events, which Joe Manchin is not involved with, by the way, that the Democrats are passing for stimulus. So what I want you to know is that she will be your protagonista, your distraction, probably today, maybe tomorrow. And at one point, I think the president's probably going to jab and just say, stop it. or the press secretary is going to say, circle around, come back with something more normal. Because she's doing things, Sinema, that no one's agreeing to. It's just, and it's all for her purpose and her persona. And with that, let's cut back to some other good, exciting details, which is rent. If you need help with rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, or similars, reach out to the volunteers. They're there to help you. They're on the community page. Click the description of this video, open it up, and go down. You'll see the volunteers. They're separated from Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Reach out to them, and they'll be able to get you that rent or utilities. Coming up in the second half of this video, we have the great news about forced stimulus. Understanding where the final vote will be, where the bills are currently now. I'll be going over all that great details in the reconciliation process, and we'll be going over fifth stimulus that got a wonderful lift yesterday, and the other economic number that gave a big lift to forced stimulus as well. Stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on early mornings at LA. The toast is toasted, and the butter is buttering, the coffee is brewing, and the bacon is missing. Maybe it's with Kristen Sinema. But how are you? It's a good morning. I don't know if I'm excited or not excited that the protagonist is back. The Temple of Doom just feels so 2020. But I don't have a name yet for Kristen Sinema, at least not publicly. At least one that I would say on camera. But at this point, thank you for joining me on Early Mornings LA. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. This stimulus got a wonderful, wonderful breaking, developing detail yesterday. I'm really excited for you. So let's go over this details. There's actually two for fifth stimulus. It's wonderful. And actually, there's maybe three things I have to tell you about this. This is huge. So fifth stimulus is going to raise your benefit limits up, then remove the asset limit, add the inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let me go over the calculation and the three breaking news that I have to tell you. First breaking news I want to tell you before I do the calculation is this one. That the president's new budget bill, which is not a stimulus item, it's not a stimulus bill, it's a separate thing I'm not covering on this channel, has dedicated $1 billion to the Social Security and Benefits Administration, not for you, but to ensure that your benefits are gotten to you quicker, more efficient, and faster than ever before. Thank goodness. This is wonderful news. You all saw those waves of stimulus checks in the spring, one wave, another wave, and they didn't know where you were. All that. They're going to clean that mess up. So $1 billion to help you and get your payments faster and easier. That is important because remember, under fourth stimulus, you qualify for a stimulus check. Under fifth stimulus, which we're doing now, we're talking about raising benefits. The other thing that I want to go over with you before I start this benefits lift up is that fifth stimulus, as you heard earlier in this video, those 7 members who write stimulus checks say they're going to put a stimulus check into the fifth stimulus package as well for everyone. Wow. Okay, now let's cut to the benefits reform and the breaking news about that one as well. So they're going to raise your benefits up. Who's you? You. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, your benefits will be raised up. Then they'll apply a new benchmark. That's where the breaking news is this morning. Let's assume the inflation rate of the benchmark is 6%. The new benchmark will be inflation. It will no longer be COLA, and it will no longer be CPIE, which is what Elizabeth Warren proposed, pay you much less. It's going to be inflation. Let's assume it's 6% so you understand how this works. So first, they'll raise your benefits up under fifth stimulus. Then they'll step you up one time. They'll step you up in December with the inflation rate of 6%. That means that next year your benefits go up 6%, but not next year only. No. Because the way that a step up works, a benchmark, is that once you step up 6%, you never step down. So you're always at plus 6% lifetime. If the year after that the inflation rate is 0, you're still at plus 6%. It's wonderful news. Next, they're going to remove the asset cap that prevents you from having more than $3,000 on hand. It's going to go away so you can get stimulus checks in your hand. Sounds right, doesn't it? Then they're going to remove the income exclusion, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work. It's going to go away, so you'll be able to work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to end. It will no longer penalize people who are married and no longer prevent people from getting married for fear of losing benefits. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to get married and not fear anything from the marriage penalty. Love is going to win. And that's your fifth stimulus, which heats up this fall. But there's a lot of other things that are in fifth stimulus besides that. And that's the value of becoming a member. The link's at the top of the chat and the pinned comment. Every day I send via the YouTube community page a breakdown of what's in fifth stimulus, fourth stimulus, and third stimulus law. Because it's your money. You don't know what you're entitled to unless someone breaks it down for you. So, for example, on a fifth stimulus, they have money for single individuals, money for seniors, money for hazard pay. You need to know what's your money. And I never have enough time in a 30-minute video to go over what's in it. So now let's go back to fourth stimulus and the breaking news for fifth stimulus as well. What happened yesterday? Well, the Consumer Price Index number was released for the month of May. What is the Consumer Price Index number? It talks about how much the cost of goods in the United States went up in certain categories. How much do they go up in the month of May compared to the month of April or compared to the month of May last year? They went up the highest growth amount, the highest percentage, May of last year to May of this year, as seen in over 30 years. In fact, we have not seen that rate of growth since the Great Recession of the 2008 year. Wow. Now, that is not bad news. That is insanely good news. Why? Because it signals that we're going to massive inflation later this year, which is called transitory inflation or temporary inflation. The inflation is going to go very, very high for a short period of time and then come back down. Yes, you see what we're getting to right now. You want to hope that when they apply, yes, their benefits in December, the inflation rate is at the highest point then, because that will raise your benefits up lifetime based upon that massive spike of the inflation rate. You want it to be applied then. Hopefully, it lands at the right time before the inflation rate settles down and goes back down to normal thereafter. Wow, now that's incredible news. Now, forced stimulus also got some great news yesterday as well, economic news, and that was that the number of jobless claims, new jobless claims, was still high. We have still not fully restored ourselves to pre-pandemic levels, meaning we need a stimulus check. And we have still not removed our continuing unemployment claims week after week to a level to pre-pandemic positions. So we're still high. We need stimulus checks. Very easy to understand that as well. Finally, let's go over where we are on the forced stimulus check and my personal thoughts going into early mornings LA. First, it's important to know that forced stimulus is getting messy, like every stimulus package always does. In the final moments of any stimulus package, you always hear a lot of people clamoring and moving and shaking. Don't worry, that's how it is. Number one, the reconciliation process has started. Number two, it's going to finish on July 4th. Number three, it's not being held up because of any negotiations from Shelley Moore Capito, which ended earlier this week, or now Kristen Sinema, because Chuck Schumer has made that clear. He doesn't need to say it 1,000 more times. Additionally, it's important to understand that even Kristen Sinema and certainly Joe Manchin earlier this week said that they would vote in favor of the forced stimulus package as proposed by the president. So at this point, there's nothing that suggests anything is off the track. There is 9 steps to get this voted from A to Z. And those 9 steps start with procedural votes and then end with substantive votes. And they are the following. Step 1, the House has to vote on the procedural bill in the subcommittee. Step 2, the House floor votes on the procedural bill. Step 3, the Senate votes on the procedural bill. Step 4, the President signs the procedural bill into law. At that point, the tow truck is passed over the finish line. Now, step 5, the House subcommittee has to vote on the substantive bill. It's at that point that the House subcommittee could put in those monthly stimulus checks. Step 6, the House floor votes on the substantive bill. Step 7 and 8, the Senate has a 2-day vote-a-rama. At that point, they vote to amend anything they got from the Senate. So if there are no stimulus checks in there from the House, they modify anything they got from the House. So if the senators receive a bill that has no stimulus checks in there from the House, the senators can put it in there. If they receive a bill with stimulus checks, they can leave it alone, or add more, or change the amount. And then finally, the president signs into the law. Finally, my personal message, which is every day I start the day by looking and seeing how many tags I see on social media. And while you're doing a good job, you're not doing enough. You need to be on social media with the hashtag MSE, hashtag Purple Power, contacting your elected officials, calling them up, saying, you got to get these stimulus checks out there. Don't be waiting. Don't be passive about the situation. Why? Because now is the time. You don't want to be talking about this after they write the bills. You don't want to be talking about this after the vote-a-rama. You don't want to be talking about it later. Now is the time. This channel has pushed and been successful at pushing. Understand, officials pass laws and then don't send out money. They write bills but never call them to a law, call them to a vote. They have proposals but never make those proposals bills. And they have thoughts but never make them into proposals. You have to assume that there may be a break in the road, so you have to push to ensure that these people follow through to the finish line. And with that, thank you for joining me on a big early mornings LA. I'll be with you all day long, updating you with all the details. You saw how this was really a jam-packed video. I could have gone on literally probably for another 35 more minutes about what's going on because there's a lot of details, but I'm trying to really compress it in the best and accurate and the most comprehensive way you can. And with that, subscribe. I don't want you to miss a single video across the board. Also, like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Join me next on Overnight's Crypto, currently airing on this channel. Jump right into that show. It's a 15-hour, wonderful, exciting broadcast. And with that, stay informed, stay focused, never lose faith, never lose hope, but never stop pushing. This is the Purple Power, and that's how we do it. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful morning, and stay